Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I need to tell you a story. I recorded it watching outside. This is crazy. So I'm telling the story about telling the story and how my song and my story connected, and the same thing happened in this story. Take a look. Okay, you see this guy? He there used to be a whole family of them. I don't know. He looks like one of the younger ones. I don't know. Anyway, he's looking around and checking. And he comes down. Yeah, he's one of the smaller ones. Anyway, he comes down checking for stuff. He goes down to the water, probably takes some crabs or whatever. So anyway, I had some cereal that nobody was eating, and was just around. So I wanted to clean out the pantry, and I did. And I decided to take the cereal out and leave it for him because he's been looking a little bit ragtag lately. And I noticed that when he goes down by the water, he comes back looking pretty disheveled. As you could tell, he looks disheveled. He's looking around. He's like, I don't know what kind of manna this is or where it came from, but I'm getting all of the shredded wheat. It's not Honey Nut Cheerios. I think there might have been a little bit of Honey Nut Cheerios. And he's getting all of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And he's taking the whole trail. Now, there's some over here for the squirrels, and some I left, crunched up for the birds. But he is feeling himself. Butterflies are hanging out with him. He is not left. This dude typically comes down. He looks around real quick, like he's doing now, and he takes off. And he must be on his own now, because the others would have come down. They usually come down out of this tree. But just to stop and think about them, I had an amazing experience today. I was listening to I Have a Right to the Tree of Life, the short meter version. It's an 11-minute song, and then there's another song that Hermina Glass Hill shared with me. I'll share the links later on today of an updated version the Reconciliation Choir did. And so I was on my way to pick up some groceries. I needed to make some juice, and I'm listening to the song. Somehow my Facebook story got connected, the one about putting down shame. So both were playing at the same time in my car. And I'm riding down the road, and I was like, what is that on that post? It was an eagle sitting on the post, and I couldn't just stop and take a picture. I wanted to. And then I went a little bit further. I've been living on this road for like 10 years. And I went a little further, or at least driving up and down this road for 10 years. I went a little further, and there was it was a flock of about 50, 60 geese in the road. I have never, ever seen that on this road. So I'm slowing down, and I'm like, okay, ancestors, y'all doing the most today. The eagle just I was driving by and I wanted to stop, but I saw a car coming up and I didn't want to, do anything. So I didn't take a picture of the eagle, but he turned his neck all slow, staring at me. And then I go down the road, and then the geese are slowing me down. So I'm like, okay, let me just. And then as I'm kind of pulling up slowly, they just parted, moved to the right. I'm like, come on now, ancestors, what are y'all doing? So, I get down further. I see more birds that I typically don't see. And I just kind of stop and pay attention and just go slow. So I came back with groceries, and I want to clean out the pantry before you put in more in the pantry. And something said, just stop and go. Don't throw that out. Just use it for those who it's still fresh to. So here we are. Here we are, looking at the fact that everything and everyone is all connected. And even the eagle, the geese. Are you a raccoon or a possum? I never know the difference. The squirrels, the birds, they all know it. They all know it. They all know it. It's time for those of us who walk on two legs to recognize that we too are connected. I love you. I've got a right to the tree of life. I've got a right to the tree of life. I've got a right to the tree of life. I've got a right to the tree of life. I've got a right to the tree of life. I've got a right to the tree of life. I've got a right to the tree of life. There was a reason they didn't. They knew at that point that what they were doing was wrong, but they were so tied to the wealth that came with black bodies. My mother had a saying, America is the greatest nation in the world because we had free labor on stolen land. And this is so true. You could not sell your house if you needed some money. You could not sell the land if you needed some money. Those things had been granted to you. They were granted to you based on the number of people you had to work it. So if you had an indentured servant who was there, or if you had an enslaved person who was there, for each person in the state of Virginia, you got 50 acres. So one person working those 50 acres. Anyway, I don't want to go too far down this hole. I want to speak to today. There is so much shame and guilt about those folks who